This week, let's talk about 4 critical tools to improve project communication. These 4 critical tools are the elevator pitch, status report, project deck, and communication plan. Let's take a little more detailed look at each of these one at a time. The elevator pitch is a concise and compelling message about your project. It should start with an attention-grabbing opener headline. For example, my project is going to save Clark Inc. $1 million a year by putting critical information at the fingertips of their IT staff. Next, discuss what the project will provide. Focus on any unique features and especially benefits that will continue to engage the listener. And then finally, wrap up your pitch with an open-ended question that's going to draw the listener into the conversation. It could be a generic question like, what projects are you working on? Or maybe something specific about the project. Draft an elevator pitch, edit it, practice it until you're sure it can fit into a 30 to 60 second window. Once you're satisfied, set your timer and practice it multiple times until your delivery sounds natural and effortless. For example, Brett Sarro, an accidental project manager, might have the following as an elevator pitch. My project is going to save Clark Inc. $1 million a year by putting critical information at the fingertips of their IT staff. We're modifying the Xanadu dashboard product to pull up information even faster to process Clark's high data volume. It's going to meet all requirements in a year, after which we'll sell an upgraded version to other clients. Do you work with clients who could use these types of capabilities? Very simple, effortless. Practice, practice, practice. Now, a project status report could be defined as a regular report stating the up-to-date project status and comparing it to the project plan. It also serves as the primary communication tool to convey critical messages to the right people at the right time and in the right format. The project status report helps monitor and manage the project and provides documentation for future project improvements. When project planning is complete, the project's plans must be baselined. As project execution moves forward, the amount of deviation from the plan is referred to as variance. Most project status reports will include information on all major constraints or factors such as schedule, resource, quality, and deliverables as defined by the scope. When creating a status report, it's important to use the stakeholder register and the communication plan to identify who needs to be informed with what information and when they need to be informed. Multiple status report versions may be required depending on the audience. Senior management typically requires something higher level, while the project team and others may need a more detailed report. Now, the concept of a project deck is very straightforward. It's a compilation of all previously presented slides into a single deck or directory on your computer. Project decks make it easier to maintain consistency in messaging and communication. As the first presentation is created and completed, give some thought about how you're going to brand the project, perhaps by using a consistent PowerPoint theme, or even creating a project identity in the form of a logo, title, and tagline. Whenever you must create a new presentation, start by adding themes and slides from previous presentations to preserve the branding. Over time, the stakeholders are going to recognize that branding, and it will build confidence in the project. It'll also cut through the noise because with all the communication they get, they're going to see it right away. It's going to pop out in their mailbox. Stakeholders and senior management can be very demanding. When a CEO asked for a presentation he could deliver, I used my project deck to select key slides quickly. Now, my slides already had the necessary spoken text in the notes section. So I only had to focus on a few transitions and make the presentation a little more suitable for CEO delivery. Now, my presentation was well received by the CEO, and in turn, his audience appreciated and enjoyed the presentation. A communication plan is usually a tabular communication by communication plan that details what information or messages we want to convey, why the messaging is needed, and the purpose of the communication, responsible person for creating that communication, and more details of when, to whom, and how it will be delivered. The clearer and more detailed the communication plan is, the better the result. It's also possible to create a separate communication plan for events or deliverables to optimize communication effectiveness and overall project success. Be specific about dates, times, timing, and frequency, and be sure to consider any stakeholder communication preferences, requirements, or expectations. Don't forget to include any repeated communications, like status reports, meetings, newsletters, and other important project communications. Make sure they're all included in your plan. Unlike other project management plans, most communication plans are not baselined. They become living documents, updated as new stakeholders are identified or additional messaging is needed. Do you have these 4 critical tools in your toolkit? If not, add these now to improve your communication skills. And that's it for this week's tip. I'll see you next week for another tip. Take care, everyone.